Hello everyone. Surrounded by fools. Meghan's new setback erupts. Should Meghan honestly blame the people around her when she is surrounded by fools, so to speak? Is she being infected with bad things in her thinking? That means, doesn't it ever seem like Meghan is to blame? Meghan is not to blame in any way, shape, or form here. The fact that Meghan is able to obtain what she wants is something that Ari brought up very early on in the relationship. On the other hand, it is quite evident that these things, those days, are long gone. The fact that people will still, sort of bend down simply to appease her is something that I find to be both fascinating and fascinating. Perhaps they simply do not want to deal with the tears and the outbursts. The question is, who knows? In any case, it would appear that she removed her wig because of this. According to appearances, Meghan is irate. As is always the case, people might be able to roll their eyes over this. This is all due to the orchid phenomenon that occurred on the American Riviera when it was first introduced in March. There were a few pots of jam, a couple of dog biscuits, and, well, for all intents and purposes, that was it. I mean, it was supposed to be this amazing thing that was going to attract people's attention. You need to understand that. As of right now, it appears that it has just worked to turn people's stomachs, because they are unsure of where they stand with it. In addition, I believe that the most exciting aspect of this issue is the way in which it is evolving. I am referring to the lack of development that I am referring to when I say developing, because a part of the concept was that Meghan was going to be selling you a lifestyle brand. You may get anything from salt and pepper shakers to olive oil dispensers, or whatever you want to call it. You could even buy a dispenser that distributes olive oil. They had a thorough examination of everything. On the other hand, all of it needs to be, crossed and tied, as the expression goes. The concept is that, if you want to go legit with this, you need to have all of stuff in place. This is the notion. Now, it has come to light that a significant number of these things have not yet been registered, which would appear to be the cause of both a delay and an expense. It is possible that I will point out that the cost is not enormous, but it is still a decent fee. According to what we have seen, the one who is in command of this catastrophe, how should we put it? As far as I can tell, there is a door that leads out of the building, and the arch of the revolving door was quite impressive. That being said, this is the opposite side of the coin. As you can see, Netflix is getting involved for the simple reason that it appears they are going to take up all of this branding. For them, this is something that is rather new to them. In light of the fact that this is obviously not going anywhere, I have a sneaking suspicion that this is actually going to take place. They are aware that although Meghan is currently working on the food show, she is probably already moving on to the political thing and going forward with the parent thing, as well as other things of that nature. Let me tell you that Meghan Markle's interest in the matter diminishes quite rapidly in her mindset. Now, if Netflix were to take on this, there would be a minor inconvenience for them, but they would then have the right to control the brand. Additionally, if they want to attempt and sell products in the future, perhaps baseball hats, who knows, baby dummies, they might try to sell them. You don't know what to expect, do you? The issue about marketing and branding is that this is the case. However, the bargain would actually mean that she would receive a portion of the money, while they would keep most of it for themselves. Now, I am not really sure who is going to be interested in purchasing any of this kind of merchandise. That's my opinion. What about you? Do you think Meghan can do it and succeed? If yes, comment number 1, otherwise comment number 2. Possibly not correct. It's possible that there is a market for it, but wouldn't you agree that it's associated with a lot of famous people, and you believe to yourself, well, who wants that? After that, you find it in the pound shop in a very short amount of time. It should come as no surprise that this is the situation moving forward. It would appear that she is in a state of distress and is quite angry over the lack of organization. And I'm going to quote myself here. I pay these individuals a significant amount of money to organize things that they are supposed to be particularly skilled at. I don't understand why it always seems to come down to me, that is to say, purportedly, because you are able to comprehend that. On her side, I would say that if you do pay people, and I am certain that they are paying them a reasonable amount, the bottom line is that they should be able to accomplish these things. On the other hand, this has been the issue. Amateurs have been in charge of the entire arrangement, beginning with the Archwell things, and continuing through everything else. They have been directed by someone who wants the final word, but it is obvious that they have no plan. Netflix is attempting to make this situation more amicable, so that they may eventually benefit from it, possibly in exchange for something else. Even though they have received a vast amount of free publicity, they have not been able to generate any memberships as a result. Certainly, that has been demonstrated to be something that is unfavorable. Starting from this point on, if you want to purchase anything, it might take you a little bit of time. It has been brought to our attention that the American Riviera may not be fully launched until the beginning of the following year. Can we hold off? Is that true? Meghan, please stop making fun of us. Now, that's not all she's been good at. I believe in giving credit where credit is due. Megzy does have this uncanny ability of always stepping out, while decked out in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of high-end designer fashions, accessories, and jewelry. And no matter what time of the day it is, or where she's being photographed, she never, ever fails to resemble a messy-looking queen-sized bed that someone tried making with king-sized bedding. And this is true, regardless of whether or not she's wearing a new weave. To be honest, I want to boycott Netflix. I don't want to see anything that has to do with Harry and Meghan. The first mistake she made was to rush the launch, just to take the limelight. The Prince of Wales's Diana speech on Diana Day. This is karma. You see, old Meghan is always in control of the train until she derails it. Then it's the driver's fault. Meghan has been failing for over 5 years. Doesn't she stop and wonder, what is the common denomination for all of her failures? Oh wait, it's Meghan. She desperately thinks she can change the minds of the people. Meghan, we're not your Sussex squad. Get a job. I don't care when her products will be available. I never have been, and never will be interested in buying anything Meghan tries to sell. In fact, I don't think ARO will ever come to fruition. It's too ambitious, and Meghan is lazy. She sincerely feels billionaires should give her money to fund ARO, just because of who she married. It doesn't work that way anymore, especially with her track record of failing spectacularly. She never comes up with anything original. Everything she does has been done before, and done better, by better people. How delusional can she be? I think it's more about who she is, not who she married. She does not believe Harry is important. She is superior. What she does not understand is she is nobody, and some people still are interested in her husband. And he is the draw. She is not surrounded by fools. She is the biggest fool, thinking that 72 days of royal duties will bring down 1,000 years of monarchy. Ha ha ha, that's ridiculous. I think it's true that the story is money hungry. Meghan got a shock when she snared into her trap, a prince. She thought he had assets and a huge income wage. She realized, once committed, he had no home to his name, and relied on his daddy for any income. The expensive clothes, holiday flights, etc. would not cover their annual income. Hence the flight to freedom. Meghan got what she wanted, a huge mansion with a huge mortgage, no daddy-in-law to pay for the huge protection bill 24/7, 52 weeks a year, and a prince who is a whining man-boy who trades off his mother's death. Can you imagine Meghan and Harry at a dinner party with highly successful and educated couples? What would Harry talk about? Polo and mommy? She just expects everything handed to her, doesn't she? Her whole thought process seems to be, I want this. Give it to me. Don't expect me to do any work. Where on earth does that come from? Was she brought up at the bottom of the ocean? And what is Netflix doing, constantly trying to bail her out? Cut your losses and move on, for crying out loud. According to her father, she's not good at finishing things she started. Allegedly, that was true of Northwestern University, too. It's clear to most. She doesn't have the education she claims to have, must have played lots of hooky. It's obvious to me that Meghan is really incompetent. She can hire competent staff, but when an incompetent boss consistently butts in and interferes, or when the boss treats the staff badly, then of course things that should be done can't and won't be. Meghan has picked an already bloated field to enter, and there are more competent, likable, and saleable celebrities who already have a large share of the market. This does feel like a pie-in-the-sky sort of hope, and it will likely be down to people willing to purchase things from Meghan and Net-a-Porter fashion. New frontier. The problem is that people generally already will have a person, brand, and shopping platform they prefer and use, and they probably will have more reasonable prices than Meghan's website. Well, that's her karma, but trashing the royal family after they gave her so many millions of dollars. Nothing she does will ever be good enough, as long as she keeps lying about the royals and trying to be better than anyone else. Plus, she disrespects the royals and her own father and family, except Doria, who by the way, was in the big house for 7 years for tax evasion. Just like her daughter, she blamed it on Meghan's father, who sent her to private schools and did everything for her in those 7 years. The siblings also helped. Meghan is an ungrateful person and of bad blood. Now that's her karma and her puppet. I have no type of sympathy for him for being such a wisp and letting her get away with it. Do you agree with me? Thank you for watching my video. I am free today, so I want to read all your comments. Please share your thoughts and feelings in the comments section. Then don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. Goodbye, and see you again.